I'm going to show this extension for Genially by the Scape team, and this is the updated version from March 2021 because there have been quite a few changes to the template and how it's used. So let's see first how this works. So it allows you to add buttons to your Genially presentation which switch things on and off, and it also allows you to hide things that can be found by scrolling over them. Okay, so here we've got a light switch example. So if I click on the switch, the light goes on and I can see the light bulb there. So here's another example. So this one works with scrolling over. So it says find the dog. So if I look around the room, there's nothing, but if I scroll down there, so I didn't click, I just hovered over it with my mouse. Now I found the dog and it says well done, next task. Here's another example that works with a mouse hover. So if I hover over the different body parts here, then it will show me the name on the sides. So they appear for just as long as I hover over it. So you can see you can have items appear that will stay there, like in the dog example, or items that just show up while you're over the right area and then they disappear again. Okay, you can also use this extension to pick up items into your inventory. So for example, here I pick up the key and then it's there. And in combination with another extension called Sacafe, you could even then keep this item over several pages and use it on a different page. Okay, so here's the fourth example. In this case, it shows one item at a time. So this time it stays there, the picture, until I click the next one. And then the first one disappears and the next one appears. So I can go through all of them. Okay, so now I show you how to make this. So go into preview mode and the template looks like this. So it's much simpler than it was before. There are only 3-4 different types of buttons really, and to use them you need to download this template and then add this blue slide to your pages in your presentation. So you just go to add page and then find the name of this extension in your own Geniallys and add that page, and then you can copy and paste it onto other pages. So let's say we want something to just appear. So we have got kind of a switch. So add an empty page. And we've got the pig is meant to appear if I click on the computer. That's it for now. So what I need is, the most important thing is this red box at the top. So on every single page where you use this extension, you need to have that function box, otherwise it doesn't work. Then I need to decide, do I want it to appear on click or on hover? So in this case, I want to click on it, and then I want to decide on the reaction, so to speak. So do I want the pig to appear, the first one? Do I want it to completely disappear, which is the red one? Or do I want it to first appear, and then when I click again to disappear, or the other way around? So it's visible, but when I click, it disappears. If I click again, it appears again. So the ones with the two colors are the ones you really need for on-off switches. While the other one, the one with the just green and the just red background, they're the ones you need if you then want to be able to, for example, handle the item. So if you want to then combine it with another game, so for example with a drag and drop activity, so first you need to find the item and then you want it to stay on so you can then sort it in the right category, for example. In that case, you want the plain colored one. Okay, so let's go with this. I'll take a red one, always red, then one of the black ones, and then I'll go with the green one in this case. Okay, and I've copied them onto my page. The red one just stays in a corner somewhere. All of these will be invisible when you go into presentation mode. You can see them when you're in preview mode, which is a bit confusing at first, but they will disappear when you watch it as a proper presentation. Okay, so my green button, the size doesn't really matter. I just need to group it with the item that I want to appear, which in this case is my little piggy. For the black one, the size doesn't matter. Only the black area will be clickable. So it doesn't matter how big the object is that you are putting it on. It's only the black parts. If I make it really tiny, let's say I want them to hit the space bar, then I would just put it on the space bar here. And even if I group it with the object, it does, in this case, it doesn't really make a difference if you group it or not. So you could just put it on top. Only if I click into this area will the pig appear. So let's try it out. So as I said, you can still see it, but later in presentation mode it will be gone. So I click on here and my pig appears. If I click anywhere else, it wouldn't. So make sure that your clickable area is big enough. And the question if you need to group it or not depends if something else is going on with that object. So for example, if this computer only appears after I've solved another task on the page, so for example a puzzle or a drag and drop activity, then you want to group this. So this click area and this computer only appear after you've solved the other thing. If the computer is there the whole time, you might as well not group it and just have it on top. Just make sure that it's the top layer. So go up here, make sure it's the top. Okay, let's try it out with the other black one, so the hover button. So in this case, I don't need to click, I just need to go over it. So this is quite nice for kind of hidden objects. So if I just do this, then it appears. Okay, obviously the object that appears and the hover area could be the same thing. So if I've got something hidden in a picture, for example, so I want to do a classic escape room type task where people have to search the room, I could just have it like this, and then if they go into this area, then the pig appears. So it doesn't need to be a different object. Okay, the purple one is the one that we need for this type of task. So if we want only one object at a time to appear, I could group a disappear and appear object with each one, but it just makes it more complicated. So the purple one is much easier, which means just have all your objects, group them all with green buttons, so the appearing ones, and then the purple one is just on top of the area. So instead of the black one, you have a purple one. You don't need the black one as well, just use the purple one. And it means now if I click onto the one that says click 0, then the on 0 object will be visible and everything else will be automatically hidden. If I click 1, then the on 1 object and so on. So click 2 goes with on 2 and so on. And you can have as many as you want. So this is important when you have several objects and several triggers. So if I want the computer to trigger the pig, but let's say the people trigger the phone, then you need to look out for the numbering. Okay, so let's say I've got 2 click areas and 2 things that appear. So I take these 2 and I can just copy and paste them. So I need 2 of them, so I just copy and paste. And the green one, okay, I've got 2 as well. Now I need to get out of the page just to run them other one and then come back in again. And what it does is reset the numbering, as you can see. So it says 0 and 1 and 1 and 2, which isn't really what I want, but if I group them, and the order in which you group things is important because it can change the order of the numbering. So let's group this, then I go back out again and back in again. So it still says click 1 and click 2, but if I go into preview mode, now it says click 0 and click 1, and these are the numbers that count. So click 0, if I click on this area, it will turn on the green one with 0, and this number 1 turns on this number 1. So sometimes if the numbering is a bit messed up, make sure you look at it in preview mode to make sure that the numbers match. So you can have objects turn off and another one turn on at the same time. So for example, with my key here, so what this does is really I've got two copies of the key, and on this click I've got a off 0 and an on 0. So if I go into preview mode, the numbers should be there. So here, click 0 and off 0. That means if I click there, this one gets turned off and this one gets turned on. So it looks as if I've picked it up. But really, I've got two different items, one turning on, one turning off. And it's the same trick over here with the light, because really what I've got is two different pictures, one darker, one lighter. And the lighter one also has the light bulb on it. And they are grouped with an off on and the other one with on off. So they work that one is always on and one is always off.